Have you ever noticed how life seems to move in waves? There are periods of joy and sadness, energy and rest, growth and stillness. Sometimes it feels like we're riding high, and at other times, we're in a slump. The Hermetic Principle of Rhythm helps us understand these patterns, showing us that they aren't random, they're part of the universal flow. In this video, we'll uncover the deeper meaning of the principle of rhythm, explore its historical roots, and learn how to work with it to bring more balance and harmony into our lives. The principle of rhythm, as explained in Hermetic texts, reveals that everything in the universe has a natural flow. Life is in constant motion, like a pendulum swinging from one extreme to another. Just as the ocean has its tides and the seasons change, so too our experiences follow a rhythm. Think of the moon, waxing and waning, growing full and then diminishing. Its cycles affect the tides, the natural world, and even our moods. Similarly, our lives are shaped by cycles of expansion and contraction, action and rest, joy and sorrow. These cycles are not random, they're deeply woven into the fabric of the universe. But here's the key: rhythm doesn't just describe the external world, it's also an internal process. Our thoughts, emotions, and energy levels all move in cycles. When we understand this, we can begin to see the beauty and purpose behind life's fluctuations. Just like a symphony needs both crescendos and rests to create harmony, our lives are enriched by the interplay of highs and lows. The principle of rhythm isn't unique to Hermeticism. It appears in many spiritual and philosophical traditions around the world. In Eastern philosophy, the cycles of rhythm are mirrored in the concept of samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. The Gita, a Hindu scripture, speaks of the importance of balance amidst these cycles, urging us to remain steady whether we're in a time of gain or loss. In Taoism, the interplay of yin and yang reflects the rhythmic flow of opposing forces. Night follows day, rest follows exertion, and stillness follows movement. This understanding encourages us to honor the balance of life and see rhythm not as a hindrance, but as a guide. Even in Western traditions, we find echoes of this principle. The Renaissance thinkers who revived Hermeticism were fascinated by the cyclical nature of history and the rise and fall of civilizations. They saw rhythm as a tool for understanding not only the cosmos, but also human behavior and society. Rhythm influences every part of our lives, often in ways we don't immediately notice. Take your emotions, for example. Have you ever felt an unexplained wave of sadness or a sudden burst of happiness? These emotional tides are part of the natural rhythm of your inner world. Learning to recognize these patterns can help you ride the waves without being overwhelmed by them. Let's look at relationships. No matter how strong the bond is, it will go through phases of closeness and distance. This is normal and doesn't mean something is wrong. By understanding rhythm, we can appreciate these natural cycles and avoid overreacting during periods of disconnection. On a larger scale, rhythm shows up in societal trends. History often repeats itself, with eras of prosperity followed by challenges. Understanding these cycles helps us prepare for what's ahead instead of being blindsided by change. And let's not forget our physical lives. Our bodies operate on rhythms too. The circadian rhythm governs our sleep-wake cycles, and our energy levels peak and dip throughout the day. By aligning our actions with these natural rhythms, we can increase our productivity and well-being. So, how do we work with rhythm instead of fighting it? Hermeticism introduces the concept of neutralization, a way of minimizing the effects of extreme swings in the pendulum. Neutralization doesn't mean stopping rhythm. that's impossible. Instead, it's about learning to balance yourself so that the highs and lows don't overwhelm you. Picture yourself on a swing. When you push too hard in one direction, the swing comes back with equal force. But if you steady yourself, the motion becomes smoother and more manageable. One way to practice neutralization is through mindfulness. For instance, when you're in a period of difficulty, remind yourself that it's temporary. The pendulum will swing back. And when you're in a period of joy or success, savor the moment while staying grounded. Another way to master rhythm is to embrace the cycles in your life. If you notice that your energy dips in the afternoon, plan restorative activities for that time. If you see a pattern of emotional highs and lows, create rituals that help you navigate them. The principle of rhythm is closely tied to the concept of transmutation, the ability to shift your mental and emotional states. When you recognize the rhythmic nature of life, you can use it to your advantage. For example, if you're feeling stuck in a negative cycle, acknowledge it as part of the rhythm. Then consciously shift your focus to the opposite end of the spectrum. Imagine you're in a period of low motivation. Instead of forcing yourself to push through, honor the rhythm and use this time for reflection or rest. When the pendulum swings back, you'll feel more energized and ready to act. Transmutation is not about resisting rhythm, but learning to flow with it. By working with the natural cycles of life, you can create more harmony and ease, even during challenging times. The principle of rhythm offers valuable insights into how we can harmonize our lives with the natural flow of the universe. Here are some practical ways to integrate this principle into your daily life. Track your cycles. Pay close attention to the rhythms that govern your emotions, energy, and behaviors. These cycles might not always be obvious, but journaling can be a powerful tool to uncover them. For example, do you notice recurring patterns in your mood throughout the week or month? Is there a specific time of day when your energy peaks or dips? By tracking these patterns, you begin to understand your unique rhythm and gain insight into when to push forward and when to pause. Plan accordingly. Once you've identified your cycles, you can start planning your life around them. If you know you feel less motivated or productive in the afternoons, schedule lighter tasks or self-care during that time. Similarly, if you notice that certain seasons or times of the month bring emotional challenges, prepare strategies to nurture yourself. This isn't about rigidly controlling your schedule. It's about working with your natural flow to make life feel more aligned and less forced. Use music and movement. Music and movement are wonderful ways to connect with rhythm on a tangible level. Dancing, for instance, helps you physically embody the idea of rhythm, reminding you of its fluid and natural presence in life. Listening to music that matches or shifts your mood can also help you attune to different spectrums of emotional and mental states. Feeling down, play something uplifting. Feeling scattered, opt for something calming and steady. Tune into relationships. Rhythm isn't just personal, it also plays out in our interactions with others. Relationships have natural ebbs and flows of closeness and distance, understanding and disagreement. Instead of resisting these shifts, try to observe the rhythm and see how it helps the relationship grow. For instance, a period of conflict might lead to a deeper understanding if approached with patience and empathy. Recognizing these cycles can prevent overreacting to temporary challenges. By applying these strategies, you'll start to feel more in tune with the rhythms of your life and the universe. Instead of being tossed about by life's changes, you can learn to ride the waves with confidence and grace. The Hermetic Principle of Rhythm reminds us that life is a dance of highs and lows, ebbs and flows. By embracing this natural rhythm and learning to work with it, we can find balance, navigate challenges, and create a more harmonious existence. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the Hermetic Principle of Rhythm. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. In the next video, we'll continue our exploration with the Hermetic Principle of Cause and Effect. Until next time, remember, the answers you're looking for are already within you.